Okay, so I have to have my glasses on. I'm getting a headache. So like I was saying, very much gender roles were in our house. They very much clean, cook, were women's jobs. Health, everything was a woman's job in our house. That's not the doctrine that Bill Gother, had to think of his last name. That's not what he had originally taught. But that is what my father went by. Once he got his reverend's license, he figured he can make his own rules. And those that know me in real life know that I'm very smart mouth. This mouth gets away real quick. I got a lot of beatings. A lot. Because things just pop up. I'm the one that usually says the things that everybody is thinking. Somebody has to say it, right? I'm learning to do it appropriately and respectfully. God's still working on me. Like I told my students, I come from the south side of the kingdom. Don't play with me. Pray with me, okay? Because I ain't afraid like Peter. I'll cut your ear off real quick. And I'll look at Jesus and say, he naturally made me do it. Like, I gave some warnings, right? I mean, anywho. So, I'm also Moses in my anger. Y'all got to read your Bibles to get and understand what I'm talking about. Because these disciples and apostles and priests that God has appointed, which I'll be surprised to see how many times God was like, I see, but y'all are acting foolish. Anywho, back to my childhood. So, I can get on that another day. Back to my childhood. So, by 4 years old, I had popped off, made a comment, and said that I could do something better. So by then, I was cooking, cleaning, doing the things as good as a 4-year-old could do. My mom was working because by then my father had decided that he no longer needed to work outside of the home because he was a reverend and that was his job. He had hurt his back at work and he was working on getting disability. If he ever got it, I don't know. I was a kid. I don't know. I do remember about this time, I think I was about 5-ish, he did go in and had to have major surgery. He had a tracheotomy put in, and I will never forget this, because we walked in to go, see him, and the doctor was in there checking him and giving my mom an update on how everything went. And I asked him how come he had to have a tube put in his throat, just like that. And the doctor looked down at me. Mind you, this is early 90s. And he said, your dad's too fat. He can't breathe when he sleeps. So don't get fat or you'll have to have one. There began my eating complex. I kid you not. I already had eating issues that apparently my father thought I was faking. According to the stories I have been told, I was in and out of the hospital a lot, pretty much from birth. due to being born 3 months early. I still had the thick hair all over me. And sorry, I'm having a lot of acid reflux. And yes, I know coffee doesn't help it, but I'm drinking it anyways. So I wasn't able to drink breast milk. I wasn't able to drink any type of formula on the market at the time, whether it was prescription, non-prescription. My mom said she went to goat's milk, she went to everything, and eventually went back to prescription grade milk, and just basically try to nurse me as much as possible, and gave me extra whatever when she could. And when I started eating solid foods, she said that was a challenge as well. I picked foods that I liked, and that was it. But if you, meat pumpkin. But if you can guess it or not, in my house, what was put on your plate, you ate it, and you ate all of it. Point blank, period. There was nothing to be left on your plate at all. Whether you liked it or not, whether it was good or not, it was to be eaten. And as I mentioned in previous videos, my father was served first. He got the biggest portion. Then my brother, he got obviously the second biggest portion. And they always made sure, or my father always made sure, that both of them were full. And then I made sure my sister, and by this time, my baby sister had been born. So I was about 6-ish, 7-ish, and a lot of things had happened in between, but, I ain't details. Anywho, but I would make sure she was fed and full, and then I would make a plate for my mom. And us moms, and I will call myself a mom from that time on, as we cook, we kind of snack in between, and we don't really eat, or at least I didn't, and I still kind of don't really eat pumpkin. Can you be nice? Thank you. Anyways, still really can't be, I still can't really eat a whole lot. Anywho, eventually found out that I had ulcers in my stomach. So that was one of the reasons why I couldn't put a whole lot in my stomach. I pretty much lived off of green beans and mac and cheese. That's what I lived off of. The doctor said, if she's eating, don't worry, pumpkin, stop. If she's eating, don't worry what she's eating, as long as she's eating. I mean, I would go open a can of green beans and just eat it out of the can. I know. Let the comments roll. Again, this was the 90s, and we made it. Anywho, so when my mom left my father, she had separated all of us children amongst some family, because not one family member could take all 4 of us. That's a lot to take on, and would never expect one family member to take on 4 children when they also had children of their own and schedules and, everything else. So we were split amongst cousins, aunts, uncles, wherever we could, to be safely